I have a confession to make, okay? Some of you will be mad at me for this, but I'm just going to come out and say it. I did not watch the Nintendo Direct live. I didn't. I'm sorry. Maybe that makes me a fake gamer. I didn't. But when I heard that it was going to be covering just like old Switch stuff, I had trouble justifying it, you know? Like, we're about to see the Switch 2 revealed. I'm excited for that. I don't know if I want to spend like an hour watching trailers for games I'm never going to play on the old Switch. Just saying. Just, okay? Come at me all you want. But there actually was an announcement that was shockingly pro-consumer. And this ties into, amazingly enough, the topic of NFTs, which I'll get to in a minute. But what this is the Switch is introducing virtual game cards, which allow you to pick which games are available to play on different Switch systems. It will also let you lend out games, even digitally owned games, to other Switch playing family members for a maximum of 2 weeks. So basically, games will generate virtual game cards, and then those can be shared to members of your like family group under your Nintendo accounts. And this is tremendous. I mean, this is it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And the reason I say it connects to NFTs is because one of the initial pitches for why NFTs were going to be like a huge thing in the gaming industry was because the idea was you could do something like this. You tie video game copies to non-fungible tokens on a registry so that you can actually see like, oh, this person owns this copy. And then you could share that license, that copy of the game with your friends. You could even sell your digital copies to friends. But the thing was, like, you didn't need NFTs to do that. And of course, that never was the ultimate pitch. The pitch was always, no, we're going to sell skins and then you can resell your skins like CSGO. They never really meant it as a serious offer. But now you see Nintendo doing it where they're just like, no, here, we can do it without that. Because we just generate a unique license ID for each copy of the game sold. And then you can share it with your friends and family. How brilliant is that? That's fantastic. It's fantastic. But it's one of those things that, unfortunately, it's taken, 20 years to get with digital copies? They've been around since, like, the Xbox Live era started. And just now we're getting to the point where, like, there's open discussion of, like, trading, selling, borrowing digital copies of games. Because when you bought a physical copy, oh, you've got a physical copy of a game. Here, just hand it to your friend. They can borrow it or have it. It's fine. If you buy digital, you just can't do that. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to, other than that means one less copy for them to sell to the other person. But Nintendo, shockingly enough, is coming out and just being like, nope, you can just let your friends borrow it, your family borrow it, whatever.
If this replaces the primary console system, it means that I can't put my account on my wife's console so she can play a game at the same time I do. Instead, only one of us can play the game at a time.
Okay, I'm tracking with what you're saying. So the old established system being the primary console versus, having a non-primary secondary console, you were able to share your library of games with members of your family under the same account. But this effectively replaces that, where you can let your friends and family borrow copies, but it just means they can't play under the same license at the same time. Am I tracking? And Kino Man Sky says, yep, SharePlay doesn't work anymore. Okay. So that would mean with this system, you're allowed to share copies, but those copies go to someone else's Nintendo Switch, whatever live, whatever the crap it's called, account. You wouldn't be able to just have the one Nintendo account, put it on 2 or 3 different consoles and share the library completely. You could trade and share, but only one copy, one version of that game can be played at any given moment. The plot thickens. This is why I love talking about this stuff on stream, because you find out more stuff. It's like, ooh, initially it sounds all wonderful, sunshine and roses, but then it's revealed there's more to it. Interesting. You can see Washed says, this is pretty cool. Just a neat feature with no obvious downside, IMO. Not really any different than just having it as it is, except now you can trade digital copies. Except you guys are saying that they are removing the SharePlay feature and are trying to push everybody to have their own Nintendo account in your family still, and you can share copies between them. But They don't want you to be able to just buy one copy and then play them at the same time that way. Interesting. I've not used that on Nintendo. I've used the SharePlay stuff on like PlayStation a good number of times, where I'll have like a copy of, I don't know, I think it was with Dragon Age the Veilguard. I bought a copy to play on PlayStation, I think it was, and then my wife wanted to play it and try it, so she played it on her account on the PlayStation, but it was my copy of the game, so we didn't have to buy it twice, I think is how it worked. Pretty sure. But on Nintendo, I've never used that system, so I'm not overly familiar with it, but that's interesting. I mean, I credit where it's due. I like this feature. I like the idea that I can share and distribute digital copies. My understanding is you cannot sell. You can basically just lend out to family members your copies, but maybe eventually they allow you to straight up like trade games or gift games with virtual cards. I don't know if they've said whether that's possible or not, but I think that this is a cool feature. If it replaces the full share play system, that's unfortunate, but still, if you look at just this thing, I think it's a cool addition. But interesting. The other huge limitation is lend the game. It must be a local connection, forcing lending be with somebody in physical proximity. So sharing with people in other cities is a no-go. I think that they're doing that to prevent these platforms that are like, okay, yeah, you trade with me, you lend me your copy of the game, I'll give you like $5. That way I don't have to buy the full game. Because if they were to do that, then you just add somebody to your family account. They pay you $5. Like there'd be all sorts of ways to basically create a gray market of this, you know, where you can just pay a small fee to get lent a game, to rent it basically. So I think that that's why they're doing it. They just didn't want to totally open it up globally, but interesting. It seems like a crackdown. Well, this is the best crackdowns are the crackdowns that seem generous and seem pro-consumer. Because like I said at the outset, I was like, this is really pro-consumer. I don't see any downside. And then you guys reveal the downside and it's like, oh, they almost got me. You know, because of course they're not going to tell you the bad stuff. They're not going to lead with that. Why would they, you know?